Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Now that we have studied both mesh analysis and nodal analysis, we will briefly compare the two. So when to use one versus the other, that's the main question. And I didn't consider the general loop analysis. I only took mesh analysis, which is loop analysis for the special case of planar circuits, but these comments apply to loop analysis as well. In general, my personal preference is for nodal analysis. This is because typically, first of all, it's very easy to identify nodes. Okay, so you know that you have a circuit with n nodes and they're all right there for you to see, right? Whereas it's a little more complicated to identify loops which are independent. Okay. Now another thing to consider is which case gives you fewer equations. Now of course you cannot make a general statement about this. If you have a bunch of nodes and you have components connecting between every node and every other node, then obviously there are a lot fewer nodal equations than there are loop equations. Okay, but of course you don't have such an extreme case either. Now the other extreme case is you just have one component between these two pairs of nodes, another component, and so on. So your n node circuit consists of only n components, that is, there is a single loop. Obviously in that case loop analysis wins out. You have a single loop and the same current flowing through every component in the loop. Now all real circuits will lie somewhere in between, but by and large I think you will end up with fewer equations with nodal analysis. So that's why nodal analysis is preferred as well. But the main reason is that it's a lot easier to systematically identify the nodes and write down the equations. Now one case where, especially for hand analysis, this mesh analysis may be more useful is that you visibly see that there are a small number of loops, but each loop has a number of components in series. Okay, so in that case it's easier to do mesh analysis or loop analysis compared to nodal analysis. But by and large, nodal analysis is what is normally used, and it's also used in circuit simulators. Okay. So this is what is used most of the time. So that's just for comparison. Of course, for hand analysis of circuits, I suggest that you try both, or at the very least, when a circuit is given to you, you consider both nodal analysis and mesh analysis and see the implications on the number of equations you have to write. At least that way you will have a good idea of what is involved in carrying out either of them. And after you get enough practice, you can just pick one and move on. Okay. Anyway, hand analysis is carried out only for small circuits. Okay.